In this session, Mediforum Pharmaceuticals will present. The company which specializes in treating degenerative brain disease has recently invested in Israel's pharmaceutical company Super Medical. The company is expanding its business to develop super bacteria antibiotics. Today, CEO Park Jae-hyung prepared the presentation.
Good to see you.
Welcome. Please explain your company.
I'll introduce our company, Mediforum Pharmaceuticals. Our company can be mainly categorized into three different ones. First is generic manufacturing and sales, second is new business, and third is new drug R&D. The first part is just like any other pharmaceutical companies. It can be divided into CSO and CMO. And for new business, we organized TF teams, and we divided it into functional food, herbal medicine, medical device, and animal medicine. For new drug R&D, we're working on a massive clinical trials on spinocerebellar degeneration, and we are using SMAP technology-based long-term injection technology development. And also we have high expectations on global R&D project. And recently, we invested in Super Medical company to deal with tolerance of occurred antibiotics. And if you take a look at the 2019 sales, among all the enlisted medical pharmaceutical companies, we reached number 1 sales. So for CSO, we reached 23.8 billion Korean won, which was 66.2%. And for CMO, we made 12.3 billion Korean won, which is 33.8%. And like I said, we ranked number 1 of growth rate among all the enlisted pharmaceutical companies in Korea. And how we did this is because we aggressively adopted the CSO, and we got rid of those high cost based sales. And if you take a look at the table here, about 78% was the cost ratio. However, in 2019, we massively decreased it to 51%. So while we saw a lot of growth rate, we also got rid of the costs at the same time. And please take a look at the graph here, sales and the cost ratio for easier understanding. While the sales dramatically increased, the profit ratio also increased, and the cost ratio is gradually decreasing. This skyrocketing increase was thanks to our 25 ingredients and 56 different prescription dosage forms. If you take a look at this graph here, from 2018 to today, we're coming up with massive new ingredients and new products for each quarter, and this is an outstanding performance as a small and SME company, I would say. And we also decreased the reselling commission fee. So for a very small company for us, it was a great burden of a commission fee for us because of the CSO fee. And last year's May to June, we decreased the commission fee by 5%. And even though we decreased this commission fee, we saw increased sales and profit. So I would say that we had a lot of more trust from our customers. And the same applies for the CMO. We got rid of those low margin products, and thanks to that, we increased productivity. Specifically, we stopped manufacturing of 40 over-the-counter drugs. So for those over-the-counter drugs, 85% was cost ratio. However, for non-over-the-drug drugs, it was only about 55%. So thanks to this, we could increase our profit ratio. And another thing that our company can boast about is that we do not have a lot of insolvent obligations. So all the bonds within 90 days, which are 94.6%, they're very sound bonds. So for a long term, we don't really have any insolvent obligations, which means we do not cover debt with debt, and we're showing a lot of sound growth. And now I'll talk about our 5-year plan. We're currently working on CSO and CMO, and for the generic drug sales, as shown from the chart, we're looking forward to showing 73 billion Korean won of sales by 2024. And on top of that, we're currently working on a massive clinical trial on spinocerebellar degeneration, and which is a PFO 004, and we are expecting to see 15 Korean billion won by 2024. And also for those new business parts, including functional food, we're expecting to see a lot of growth. Now let's move on to the R&D technology. We're currently working on MFOP004, which is a spinocerebellar degeneration treatment, and we're currently working on a lot of treatment in clinical trials. And also working on developing this SMAP technology-based long-term injection, and also we're currently massively investing in a super trust medical company. This rare disease, which is the spinocerebellar degeneration, this disease is where a lot of cells in the cerebellum die. And the number of patients for this disease is really small. And if you get this disease, then your bodies don't function properly. And based on our massive clinical trials, when we don't have a clear cure or treatment for now, we're currently working on a clinical trial to prove our efficacy. And our company currently has a patent for this treatment, and we are currently working on our 4th clinical trial. And if we complete this, then we're looking forward to monopolize this field. And once the medical coverage covers this, then it will decrease the burden on patients, and we will see a lot of number of patients that we can cover. So even though this is a very rare disease, if we monopolize this market, then we will make 20 billion Korean won of profit in the future. So far, the status of the 4th clinical trial is luckily facing a lot of tailwind, and the first quarter of next year, we will see this medical report, and from the second quarter, we will have discussion with the Food and Drug Ministry of Korea, and then the 4th quarter, then we will have medical coverage, which will cover our medical sales and which will be included in our sales. And now let's move on to the SMAP platform-based long-term injection. And as a long-term plan, we are currently working on anticoagulant and dementia treatment. The SMAP platform technology, this has the same molecule size-based injection, and if we inject this injection to skins or muscles, then this can release the same dose for weeks or months, from 2 weeks to 3 months continuously. And we're working on this high molecule which are biodegradable, so it can release gradually the same dose for the same time continuously, so that it can continue the efficacy in our human body. The strength of the SMAT platform technology is that we have the same molecule size based technology, and we have the safety, and we have the patent of this dosage. And as shown below, we have technology and industrial strength. And based on this technology, not only anticoagulant or dementia treatment, but we can also work on other medical diseases as well. Now let's move on to this anticoagulant development. Currently, there is a major anticoagulant antibiotics, which is apixaban, and we are currently developing. We have secured this technology to develop this apixaban. Especially, we have this patent to have a long-term development, and this is the first time ever globally that we enlisted this patent and currently working on this medical clinical trials. And we have this long-term injection development is that our company is the #1 leading company in the globe, I would say. Next one is dementia cure. Globally, there are a lot of growing number of dementia patients, and for those patients and patient families, working on the medical efficacy for them is really, really important. And based on our high molecule biodegradable treatment technology, we will come up with long-term injection, and we have just finished our testing. And in this year, we're planning to finish this, and from next year, we're planning to go through clinical trials. The super transmedical transporter technology is the next to talk about. Nowadays, there are a number of growing people who use antibiotics, and there are a lot of this tolerance issue. And this tolerance issue is not only a global issue, but also specifically in Korea, this is a very serious issue. As you can see from this graph, the global antibiotics market as of 2010, the market size was 45 trillion won, and this shows 7% of growth rate annually. And if you take a look at this major antibiotics tolerance status, there are a lot of issues globally, but specifically in South Korea, the issue is really serious. So we currently signed a technology partnership with Super Transmedical to joint invest in this field. The Super Transmedical company's technology is not coming up with a new technology, but using this amino acid called arginine to increase the percentage success rate of infiltration into virus to kill the virus. So as shown from the image on the slide, this virus does not allow antibiotics to infiltrate into the virus. However, based on this FDA approved biotics, we add this alginine so that it can infiltrate into the virus to kill this one. As you can see from the graph, which shows more details, this antibiotics is called vancomycin. This already had an approval from FDA, and this needle-shaped part is Super Transmedical's transporter enhancer technology. If you use this arginine and add it into this vancomycin and create an amalgam, and if you use this, the antibiotics will die, as shown from the graph image. Those bacteria didn't die in the past. Now, mostly died, as shown from the red image. And those conventional antibiotics didn't work, however, it showed some difference. So this technology, we recently signed a cooperation partnership with Super Transmedical company, and we're currently working on getting an approval. And our medical research team has a lot of high expectation on this, and I wish to elaborate about this efficacy in the near future as well. The last part is our R&D pipeline of Mediforum Pharmaceuticals. Please take a look when you have time. So that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Lastly, do you have anything to say to the investors? If you have anything to emphasize, please let us know.
Our company so far is a small company. However, our staff work as a team and we do our best. And our company's motto is people are the best and we value people the most. So just like one body, just like one team, we do our best. And a lot of typical pharmaceutical companies develop their medicines while facing a lot of deficit. However, our company already has this plus profit. And also, we're working on this new product pipeline, so we are catching two birds with one stone. So please give us a lot of trust and love. We won't turn you down. Thank you.
And you humbly said it's a small company, but I think it's a small but really strong one. You also tap the growth rate in terms of sales. So I think the company is looking forward to tomorrow more than today. Thank you for what you said.